In this film, I want to talk a bit about the decision facing long haulers with regards to taking the latest booster. What exactly is it? Why should you take it? And just perhaps, why shouldn't you? I won't tell you what to do, but hopefully the information and a discussion of the pros and cons will help you make the right decision for you. So, let's dive in. The decision about whether to get vaccinated is a big one for long haulers, basically because it's such a lottery about what it will do to our long COVID symptoms. The risk of making them worse or triggering a relapse is not worth taking for many of us when the symptoms are so debilitating already. It's a very different decision than that facing the general public, and that's the reason for this discussion. I will point out for the record that I am by no means anti-vax in terms of sentiment, and I have had all 3 of the available jabs to date. So, let's talk about this most recent new booster. Both Moderna and Pfizer have developed a new bivalent vaccine designed to combat both the original wild type of SARS-2 and the BA.1 Omicron lineage. Both Moderna and Pfizer jabs are comparable and are basically made up of a half dose of the old vaccine and half a dose of the BA.1 derivative. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we have no data at all on how long haulers react to this newest vaccine. It's simply too early. So all we can do is look at what we know about the science, the current infection landscape, if you will, and what we know about how long haulers fared with previous vaccines and boosters. So, first of all, let's talk about all the reasons why getting vaccinated with this new booster is a good idea. Firstly, the new bivalent shots do provide protection against developing severe disease, even against the modern Omicron variants, BA.5 and BA.2.75. And there is peer-reviewed and published data to support this. So if you're at risk from an acute infection, whether due to age, if you're 60 plus for example, or being immunocompromised, then protecting yourself is a very good idea. In my previous surveys, a proportion of long haulers said their symptoms improved after taking previous versions of the vaccine, and some even made complete recoveries. So it is possible that taking this booster might have the same effect for you. Did you respond well or get minimal side effects from previous jabs? If so, then the same is likely to be true for this one. But how about this difficult territory of why a booster might not be a good idea for someone suffering from long COVID? Well, the primary difference facing a decision maker now over getting a jab previously is that this booster won't give you a time-limited immunity, unlike those in previous waves. Why? Well, because we are now several iterations of variants on from the BA.1 strain that the booster was designed to combat. The latest variants of Omicron, BA.5 and BA.2.75, have significant degrees of escape mutation that means they can essentially dodge this vaccine. Yes, the booster will help you fight the infection once you've got it, but it won't necessarily stop you catching it. Further, in my previous surveys, more people felt worse for a protracted period of time post-vaccination than better, especially after the second and booster jabs. And I would expect the same to be true across a spectrum of long haulers now. How did you personally react to your previous vaccinations, if you had any? If they worsened your symptoms beyond the initial side effects for the first few days, then the same is likely to be true for this jab. Now, in previous waves, vaccination also served a really important collective good by slowing down the spread of a deadly disease, as those who were vaccinated were less likely to catch and then obviously spread the virus. But given that this booster doesn't offer immunity, that is no longer a factor. So it is a complex and extremely personal choice, and not the same one facing us in previous waves. Simply put, if you're at risk from an acute infection, then you would still be highly advised to take it. My dad has been boosted, for example, and I'm very glad that he has. But how you weigh up these pros and cons will be very different depending on your personal circumstances. If you'd like to see the results of my previous surveys on vaccine reactions, then I'll provide the links in the description. I hope this has helped you clarify your own thoughts on the decision, and I hope you can all make the right individual decisions for you. If you've got any thoughts on the matter, then drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. Look after yourselves. Until next time.